Okay, we may have aged a year, but we are back. We basically went through a whole ass anime arc during the break. Santos' internet died, came back. My mom brought me nuggies. Like, these are some difficult times we are living in. But Santos is back. Luckily, we actually get to play the game. We get to be here for it.
Well, I mean, you would have been ready for it. You would have been able to
I was
cast
just
the
chilling the
game.
entire time. Like, I was just like,
You were just
when's
chilling with them
Santos gonna
chicken
get here, man?
nuggets.
He's dragging us down.
I okay. I'm not
I'm
dragging us
kidding.
down.
I'm
My
kidding.
ISP, who will not be named unless you follow me on Twitter, was dragging us down. But we have Mirage up against Talentless Esports here tonight as our final game on the inaugural play day of Project Eris. And well, we have the rosters for you on the screen. And well, this is going to be one. This is going to be a barn burner of a matchup. I recognize names on both of these squads, and well, if you're representing the name Mirage, you're gonna have to be a gunner.
Oh yeah, of course. Like we have seen, if you followed CCSW, this was the team for Mirage Scouts. It was this five, and they obviously stayed together after CCSW. They were one of the only to do that as well. Obviously, I believe Gugadal still stayed together. So we are staying. These two teams, whether it is Gugadals or Mirage Scouts, are a combined and stacked roster. And Mirage Scouts, they want to go farther than they definitely did in CCSW. They were one of the first to really kind of get knocked out. They didn't go too far, but obviously this is a whole new package, a whole new deal, and it's going to all start right tonight.
The question is, are they going to be able to or get over the hurdle that is going to be this talentless esports side, because they have some gunners of their own as well. But we're going to have to find out where we're going to be placing these hurdles as we're going to head on into the map bans. Obviously, we still have the 7 map pool and coastline. Obviously, you want to get that off the board. You know how much gun skill everyone can have, and coastline is that sort of wild card map. So you want to ban that out as soon as possible. Clubhouse as well coming out from the Mirage side. But what are you expecting to see here, V? This could potentially make or break both of these two teams.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the maps are going to play out, whether we are going to go to the same old Oregon, which is still in play. It is going to be Oregon or Villa, and it is going to be Villa, chosen by Talentless View, banned out by Mirage Scouts to Oregon. So we're going to the Italian
Let's
countryside.
go.
We are going from Clubhouse, which is a map that we might not see too often, to Villa, which is a map we definitely see a lot. So some changes going on here, but it's a whole new match. We got talentless females and Mirage Scouts, and we should be right on ready to hopefully get into this, because obviously we've had a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah, well, that's also just my fault entirely, even though I'm going to dispel that blame onto my ISP. But yeah, like you said, well, we had a lot of time to prepare. Also, these two teams have had definitely time to prepare. And well, I'm expecting a big day from the Mirage Scouts. Obviously, Monster Girl is on this team. And in some of the pregame sort of activities, well, she told me to call her mommy. So here it is. Mommy, I hope you have a good game. Meanwhile, I mean, yeah, she told me to do it. I'm sorry, V. But talentless, I have some friends on that squad as well. Dawn, obviously, I know that she can definitely compete with the best of them. But let's hop into our map here. And talentless versus Mirage. Let's go. What are we going to see here right now?
And it's going to be talentless on the defensive side. They are going to be banning that off. And usually we might see a Thatcher, a Nomad, or a Jackal Valkyrie, and then either a Kaid or a Mira. This is kind of the two off, but it's actually going to be Flores going off the board first. So there is either going to be a Thatcher or an anti-roam that still is going to stay. Obviously, Flores having a still extreme presence already with those Rotero drones, the explosive power that he gets with 4, and it is going to be Ace. So both Nomad, Gridlock, and Thatcher are all going to make it through. Could that be a very interesting change of pace?
Well, this is something that we definitely don't see too often. But as soon as I say that, we got Mbira, man. That's pretty standard. But like you said, no Thatcher, or well, we have Thatcher. Oh man, this is already going to be just a complete change of pace from every single other game that was casted here on the channel today because, well, I mean, Thatcher being alive or Thatcher being playable is definitely just the biggest change of pace already. Meanwhile, the defensive bands, obviously Mira and Valkyrie dealing with the information-sided operators is well, that's very commonplace, especially for Villa, where there are all these nooks and crannies where you can throw those Valkyrie cameras, or how influential a bulletproof mirror can be.
I don't know actually if Thatcher will be played though, because he's in play. Sometimes teams adapt without him, but I think because Thatcher is so strong, he's a little different than Mira, who kind of needs a dedicated strategy towards her. Thatcher just kind of needs to be there. Thatcher can just simply throw those EMP nades and take away a lot of the struggles that can come with the attack, especially on Villa. But because we have a Kaid, there isn't going to be a struggle of, oh, we got to find the Electroclaw, we got to shoot out the floor underneath and, possibly bring an IQ. No, you just bring a Thatcher, you throw a nade, easy done. Like that's that. Now the wall is open, and then the real round can start, because now the struggle isn't going to be getting the wall open, it's probably going to be the execution onto the site. And that is where I think Talentless Females, that is where we might see them really shine. Or they might just not be prepared for the Kaid, but then again, they were obviously the ones who chose not to ban Thatcher, so they probably have a plan in mind. They've got the mute, they've got the Kaid, so things are still in their favor. They just have to be really ready for that wall to get opened really quickly.
I mean, the one thing that they can hold some sort of solace in, especially in this round, is that fact that, well, Iraqi was playing on that Hibana, and Hibana's pellets do take what seems like forever to explode. So there is a possibility that, maybe those mute jammers or those Kaid electric claws can definitely, they can definitely be revived by the time that Iraqi decides to pull the trigger on those Hibana pellets. But that doesn't seem to be the most pressing sort of thing, as Dawn, well, she's going to be the isolated roamer here on this trophy side, and Mirage are quick to head up onto the master bedroom and try and deal with this roam game.
Already starting this one out, the Gemini hopefully can reveal the position, but it's actually going to be just a little bit before they really reveal themselves. Cavi taking a whole bunch of damage before they can really go on through the door, so they're paying for the price of that map control with a whole bunch of health. But then again, they're still alive and they have the map control that they need to really push on forward into landing into 90. That is the next step, and Red Stairs is the goal right here. Is actually Cassie. The scope is going to obscure their vision entirely, and they're going to find themselves on the wrong end of the gun.
I mean, they only have one frag grenade left as well in the hands of Tabby, so that is a gigantic kill that Dawn was able to get. Well, she's rose to the occasion in this situation, that is for sure. But Mirage are taking a very slow and steady approach to try and deal with Pris, who is sitting inside of 90. They're trying to open up some long angles that Pris may or may not be expecting, but with Mirage losing an influential operator such as Ayana this early, well, I have to say this is not the hot start that I expected you to get off to. Meanwhile, I mean, the nades are going to fly through, but Pris, well, she's tanking through everything that Mirage can try to throw at her, and, well, unfortunately won't be able to tank much longer, as Tabby is finally able to take 90 control, and, well, a good take from Mirage so far, but it has to be said that without one of those frag grenades, this could be a very tough situation to get through.
Yeah, and there is the Thatcher available, but drone holes are still a thing in Victoria, also known as Arakiv. It is Victoria backwards, if you did not know. They're going to take a whole bunch of damage through the drone hole, but Thatcher is now going to be able to disable that mute jammer, and those X-Kairos are going to be able to go right on through and open up into Vault. So now they're just going to have to worry about that 90 side. That is the real struggle that Talentless Females are really going to have. There is a C4 in the hands of Dawn. They're going to throw it up, and the phone call is ringing, and it is Victoria up and down on the ground. With Cavi on low health and Monster, the real only one who can take these gunfights head-to-head. Things are getting a little dicey for Mirage, with both Talentless Females having 4 members alive. No damage done to any of them, not even in the site. How are Mirage going to be able to handle anything? And even though they do find one for their troubles, it's going to absolutely do nothing in the end, as Victoria is going to go right on the ground next to the pool table, and it is going to be Talentless Females taking the first round win.
I mean, Talentless definitely doesn't reflect their gameplay. That Nitro Cell from Dawn was perfectly placed to put the pressure onto Mirage, having to get that revival and obviously not having the HP necessary to really get aggressive and take gunfights that spelled the sort of doom for Mirage. Monster Girl was really the only person in a position to really make any plays happen. And well, you said it yourself, Light Rose, this Thatcher ban could, the lack of a Thatcher ban could have such a big influence on the rest of this game because you rehearse all the time with Thatcher not being on the table. And well, you want to bring Thatcher because he can be such a powerful tool. The SAS operator, obviously, those EMP grenades just make such a big difference. But maybe there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve again, just because you're not used to playing with that Thatcher. So overall, I think Talentless are doing a really good job at taking advantage of what has been given to them in this matchup so far.
Right now, changing it on over to that Astra side of Trophy Statuary, the place that Kaid really calls his home. Just the ability to get every single wall with a single Electric Claw is a very strong ability. Obviously, we can see trying to trick that as well. Kaid tricks are a little bit more difficult. You need to be very aware of your surroundings and really outthink your opponent, but obviously Kaid players know how to do that as well, and we could see something of the sort happen. But Mirage, they aren't going for a straight-on Master Bedroom take, at least not from their spawn. It seems they are going to be going from that southern side, going from Games and Aviator side, with Cavi on the Nook as well. That is a different type of pick, and one that could really pay off if Cavi is careful.
Well, currently Cavi is just supporting that sort of Aviator game-sided take, but I'm expecting Cavi to sort of go off and do her own thing and try to clear out some of these roamers. We see 3 Nitro Cells on the side of Talentless, and well, we saw last round that Dawn has a very good propensity at getting those Nitro Cell kills, so overall I'm expecting Talentless to invest a lot into this Nitro Cell game and really play for Mirage, allowing Mirage to get that sort of map control and exchanging with a little bit of Nitro Cell action. Cavi, though, is actually taking a very aggressive approach. She is the frontline player for this Mirage Esports side, and I have to say, with her playing the Nook, it's a very interesting position for her to be in. I'm not sure if that's the best usage, but oh my goodness, good night, Dawn, getting her head taken off by Tabby. I did not expect her to win that gunfight.
Yeah, but I think win it she did, and even though that frag grenade is going to be caught by the magnet, that means that that castle barricade still stays strong. There's no line of sight for Mirage to really shoot it out, but there is going to be a sledgehammer. There is not a magnet powerful enough that's really going to be able to do too much, as right now a line of sight has been opened, so Flashbang's frag grenades are really going to be all thrown on through because of the EMP grenades. Now is where we could see the Mirage play really start to happen, as the impact grenade just doesn't do enough to cut off a line of sight into the site. And now with Talentless down a person and really down hindsight as well, down anything to try to stop this diffuser, it's a wonder that how are they going to stop anything from winning this round? How are they going to stop Mirage from getting anything? And we might be close to a flawless round, Santos. And a flawless round is exactly what we're going to act. I stand corrected. It's not a flawless round.
Well, flawless in terms of the execution, maybe not flawless in terms of the gunplay. Obviously, Talentless were able to frag a couple back, but I think flawless was a pretty accurate description of what happened there from Mirage. They were able to take a lot of map control with ease, and I mean, nothing really stopped them as soon as they got into the Aviator games. I'm wondering, was Talentless really expecting that sort of take? Because it seemed like as soon as Dawn fell, they were pretty clueless as to what was going on.
Yeah, that can happen sometimes. One person can kind of be the crux of a team.
Mm-hmm.
And while it can help you, I think in the end it does you more harm than good. Because if that person goes down, your team is not in a good position when it comes to the ability to make up for that person's individual performance. Obviously, with Dawn, not actually at the top leader, but that honor goes to Midlight right now. And now it's going to be on Kitchen. Not going to try their hand once again at that Trophy Statuary site. I think that is that the best option here, is going on to the Spaceman site, not having a pulse, instead having a bandit instead. With, I'm guessing what the main goal is to shut off that kind of laundry site. That something of the sort is going to happen for Talentless, that they can win out these rounds, make sure they get the edge in the end.
Well, that makes the horizontal upstairs just that much more important, right? Because, well, if you lose the vertical control to the operators in the Mirage, they're going to destroy everything in their path. Oh goodness. Well, unfortunately, we do have a rehost coming on right now, and man, it had to happen once tonight here, Light Rose.
Oh, because
Unfortunately,
we haven't had enough here. Is that what you're saying?
Are you throwing shade at me
No,
right
not
now,
at
my
you.
friend?
No, I'm just saying in general. Like,
Well, I mean,
there has been so much kerfuffle that it has been absolutely insane. But we do we want an interview or do we want to talk? I think Santos, weigh your options. What do the people
I
want?
mean,
Do they want to hear
what do the
us?
people want? I think they want to hear. I think they want to go to the interview. I think that
Okay,
would be
they
really
will.
cool. So let's toss it on over that interview.
We'll go to an interview.
Hello, welcome back to Project Eris, and we have a nice interview with Lauren from Goo Goo Dolls. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, so I guess let's just start it off nice and easy. How did you get into competitive play?
I didn't really know what comp was when I first started. I started the game a year ago. I met some friends through the female TMs server that we had, and they found me and asked me to join their comp team. I had no experience really, but they taught me a lot from it, and from then I've just been trying to learn as much as I can, and have been playing comp since.
And so is that where the origins of Goo Goo Dolls came from? Was from that women's 10-man?
Definitely not. I guess I kind of just found Goddess and asked if she really wanted just to play for fun, because I just wanted to play CCW for fun. And so they said that they had a team kind of that they had going just to play for fun, and they invited me to play after. So that's basically how that started.
I mean, that definitely makes sense when you have people such as Marmalade and Goddess on your team. It's a good learning experience, and naturally you're growing as a competitor. But if you had to pick one thing about your team, what would be your absolute favorite?
I like that my team really doesn't care what anyone else thinks. We basically just play to play and to have fun. I know we get a lot of hate for some reason, but the people on my team right now, they're some of the most amazing and sweetest people that you guys will ever meet. It just sucks that no one really has the opportunity to realize that, and that they're just judging from an outside perspective.
And so proving people wrong, would that be part of your goal with the team, or do you guys have big aspirations going forward?
Proving people wrong definitely would be one. We don't really scrim or practice at all, so we're literally just here for fun. So we don't really have a specific goal in mind other than to just kind of have fun with each other. So.
Yeah, but then naturally, winning is fun, right? I mean, I think we can all agree with that. Yeah, winning's definitely fun. So what would you put you had to put a number on your percentage of winning Project Eris. What would you put that as?
Considering we won CCSW, I'd say our confidence levels are super high. So I'd say we have a pretty high chance. Maybe I don't know. Couldn't really put a number on it.
Come on, I need a number, Lauren. Come on. A
99%?
60%, a 70%,
99%?
99%? Okay.
1% we could lose.
Okay, who was that 1% team that you're a little bit worried about?
I know the old Sukuna roster. I think they made some changes. So I definitely think they're going to be on a revenge tour kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes.
Alrighty, and so is there anybody else that you'd like to give out, a shout out to all the viewers or any of your fans?
Shout out to Demi for being the best support, our #1 supporter right there, whether she's on the team or she's just sitting and watching, because I know she has some work stuff to do, so she can't make all the games. And then just a thank you to our fans for being with us and cheering us on.
Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me here today, Lauren, and we have a whole bunch of other interviews getting uploaded to this YouTube channel, as well as a lot of action as the season kicks off. Make sure to follow all of the socials, which will be linked down below, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we're back after that minor rehost. We'd like to thank you all for your patience, not only with this rehost, but for everything that happened with my internet as well. And while we have the time to hop back into the game, well, I'd like to give a special shout out and thank you to Jess, Fabian, Lion, and Sua for everything that they've done for our prize pool, as well as helping out with the operations behind the scenes, as well as Jacob. Excuse me for that. I apologize. And well, just thank you guys so much for all the support that you've given this amazing project that we have in front of us. And well, we're going to be headed straight back down to the dining room and kitchen. I'm pretty sure they're locked into the operators that they were selected before we hopped out of prep phase. So, Light Rose, are we going to see the exact same sort of setup that we saw before we had to call the rehost?
I'm guessing that, no strategies were revealed, obviously. The gold stave strats did work out. We still kind of see that bandit, that castle, still no pulse. I think the pulse usually you would see on this kitchen site, but opting not to have that, instead going from different types of operators, whether that is hard breach, anti, soft destruction, something of the sort, instead of just the raw information that pulse gets you. And I think having the Nook definitely hurts you when you don't have a pulse, simply because pulse, you still beat a heart no matter what. You may be a stone cold killer like Nook might be, but she still has a heart. Underneath that hard netish exterior is a nice beating heart.
I completely agree, and well, I mean, Pulse is a stone cold killer in his own right. Like that UMP 45 absolutely does some damage, but we're not going to be seeing that FBI SWAT stone cold killer inside of this round because, well, they have to lock in the operators that they had before the rehost. But it seems like Mirage are going for something very aggressive. They've already made their way towards the south side of the map, taking from both above as well as on the ground floor of the site. So I'm expecting some aggression to come out here from Mirage real soon. And meanwhile, Talentless, they're just kind of sitting in their positions, sitting on these angles, waiting for someone to peek on through. And I'm expecting to see a little bit of fighting here sometime soon.
Yeah, obviously fighting is any type of game, especially in Rainbow Six, but it's going to be Midlight taking the first frag. And sadly, the kills have been reset, but we all know who's on top, and that is Midlight. And they are going to actually be able to fire back as Dawn takes a whole chunk of damage in the end, and they're still alive. But you know who isn't? And that's Cassie. Cassie going down means you lose information, frag grenades as well. There's so much that you lose with the Yana going down. And Midlight and Dawn are essentially the same amount of HP at this point, but they're still definitely the rats that the Roam game kind of comes with that P10 Roni, with that 460C, and Tabby going down with a C4. Mirage going to have to find some way to come back from this.
Mirage is a team that, they're built on their structure, right? Like we've seen when they're able to pull off their full on site to executes and everything goes to plan, well, everything goes well for Mirage. But Talentless is doing a very good job at just throwing wrenches in those gears, just making Mirage very uncomfortable. And well, we talked about the bans as well. I think the Thatcher ban might be a little discomforting for the side of Mirage. They haven't seemed to get anything consistent going here on the attacking side as we hit the 50-second mark, and they're trying to get something going, and well, that's the perfect way to do it. The frag grenade will catch the kill onto Midlight, and you mentioned how much of an impact Midlight has been having in the game so far, and well, unfortunately, no more in this round. But Chris is still alive with those smoke grenades, but everything seems to be happening all at once here, Light Roses. The walls are getting open, they're dropping into Laundry as well. Tabby will find another. That's the smoke grenades down as well. They still, actually, they don't have any more nitro cells to try and deny this plan, so they're going to have to do it purely out of gun skill. And well, sitting inside of Memo are two of the members of Talentless, and they're just trying to find those angles, but Tabby just playing ring around the Rosie for a little bit too long will eventually get shot down by that UMP. A Rotkid is going to put down that diffuser, gets cut down by Monster, who picks up 2 on the round. Will she pick up the 3rd? Yes, she will. Mirage, well, I was talking about how they were feeling a little discomforted, but they seemed pretty comfortable once it came down to the side execute.
Yeah, and it seemed that they kind of slipped into that ease of comfort when initially they were struggling early in the round, and it seems that the longer that time ticked on, the more it kind of seemed that they got comfortable with their unfortunate setting. They made the best of it that they could. Going on over to Aviator in games, I'm gonna ignore whatever Monster Girl is saying in chat. And hopefully, the Nook of Cavi is still going to have some relevance because it seems that the Nook part of it, the ability to slip away from cameras, be absolutely silent apart from sprinting, hasn't been there for the most part. So
Right.
is bringing Nook? Do you kind of lose something with Nook?
I feel like you do, right? Because she doesn't bring that much to the board outside of her presence sort of hider. And, well, that hasn't seemed to make that much of a difference with the way that Mirage is using her, right? Cavi has been on the front lines in a lot of these takes. And the FMG9 isn't exactly the best fragging tool either. So I'm wondering why they continue to bring this Nook round after round, just knowing that there are other options on the board that could potentially be a little bit more effective. I'm thinking of Zofia, maybe an Ashe, but yeah, they know something that I certainly do not. And well, you don't really need the Zofia and Ashe when you have Thatcher on the board. And yeah, Nook has frag grenades as well. So overall, I think, despite maybe not having the most utility in terms of a gadget, those frag grenades and that FMG9 in the right hands can definitely make a big difference.
Anytime somebody in chat talks about how it's like, "Woo, let's go talentless female," I'm like, "Wow, thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it."
You're not talentless.
I know it's just very funny to. It's very funny to talk about talentless. Like, let's go talentless female. It seems very poignant. Like it's directed at a single person, but talentless, they're definitely anything but. We have seen whether it is Midlight or anybody else that they know how to shoot worth their salt. And the fact that they're even down one round, I know that really is not going to last. We do see Pris kind of hanging out in this 90 area, in the 90 corner, and if they're able to really put up a strong gunfight here, it could really throw the round in absolute chaos here. We're seeing Mirage kind of reconstruct the off-site right now with Tabby on that sledgehammer, making sure that they have sights on any flankers that could really creep up behind them, but I think that isn't the problem right now. As you can see, everybody is on that southern side, on the same site as well. And now Cassie and Cabby both pushing on forward. I just noticed the 6 frag grenades as well. That could be a reason that they are bringing that Nook with the frag grenades. As Pris is going to take a little bit of damage, they're going to back off. They're not going to take that fight. They know it is not worth it, but that's going to allow Mirage to really push on forward.
Yeah, and when you give Mirage this sort of map control, they can definitely do a lot of damage. And, well, they don't have a lot of good Nitro Cell positioning. I was expecting these Nitro Cells to be in perfect position downstairs, but I guess that doesn't matter when Pris is able to land these ratty angles from these drone holes. And, well, that's not the first time that someone from the Mirage Esports side has suffered to the drone hole. But the frag grenade is going to fly through and eventually get the vengeance onto Pris. So, well, the castle has already done his damage, though. You would expect Castle to put those bulletproof door stoppers is what I'm going to call them because I'm at a loss for words right now. You expect him to put those walls up and then go on about his merry day. Well, Midlight, oh man, unfortunately she's been fragged out as well. Jay Night Owl is going to get the kills as well, and everything's falling apart for Mirage at the seams. The Nitro Cell is going to ring true, but unfortunately for Mirage, there isn't much you're going to be able to do in a 3v2.
Yeah, that C4 clipping the top of the vault, even though it wasn't much, it's still going to be enough. Is that C4 is going to take out Monster Girl, and with it, the hopes and dreams of any Mirage victory this round. Is it's going to be Tabby taken down by Night Owl, and a great job by them, shutting Mirage down, evening it up right now, 2-2. And this match is looking like one that is really going to go the distance. We are going to get to that overtime margin because they look equal right about now. Talentless and Mirage are just trading blow for blow, and it's hard to see who the clear better team is right now.
it's just a bunch of prize fighters going to war as well. Talentless and Mirage, like you said, they've been dealing blow for blow. When one person gets a kill, well, the other side has had a perfect response. And unfortunately, Mirage just found out of ways to respond. When you're in a 1v3 with only 25% health, like we're seeing on the screen right now, well, that's a very tall task to ask out of pretty much anyone. So I'm looking for Mirage. You know, we've been saying that it's been a bit of a teeter-totter sort of matchup, right? One person gets around, or one team gets around, excuse me, and then the other team shortly follows. So if the trend continues, then Mirage are going to respond back in this round. But I'm thinking Talentless are going to try and maybe build up some momentum here and try to string a few rounds in a row.
Yeah, getting that momentum is an extremely important part of Rainbow Six Siege. Momentum is just a huge thing, not only in Siege, but in just games in general, in these competitive shooters going on a roll on a snowball at all. It really can dig into your opponent's mental and help you in the mental game as well. You can boost your confidence and destroy your opponent's confidence as well. And isn't that the goal of everything? Just to make sure that your opponent feels horrible so that you have an advantage.
That's a very grim way to put that. Oh my goodness. Light Rose, we're going to have a talk after the game here. But Mirage are going to begin their attacking phase by doing, well, yet another south-sided take. We've seen this take once in time again from the Mirage Esports side. They opt to go very horizontal in terms of the pressure that they want to take and force Talentless into these uncomfortable positions. But Talentless have done a good job themselves of making the Mirage feel uncomfortable, as we're seeing right now. Tabby feeling a little bit of pressure inside a piano, but unfortunately, well, Dawn is just going to escape with her life. She knows that she's done the damage necessary, and she's just going to continue to waste time from this Mirage Esports side.
Yeah, wasting time is a very good thing on the defense, but you have to make sure you are using your time wonderfully on the attacking side. But Cavi going down, it seems that you mentioned the Zofia change. Was that the best thing for Cavi herself? Because she did not have success in that part. She was the first one to go down in this round, and now that's going to really halt the Mirage attack for the time being. There still is a lot of time left. We see the frag grenades going out, EMP grenades going out, so many projectiles, yet no Jaeger in sight. Only a sad Wamai in the corner. He only got so many magnets to use, and sadly that EMP is just going to destroy every single bit of them, and Tabby is going to break open that castle barricade, only to meet Chris, who's just going to back off immediately. And now we might see the engagements happen here as we are going to reach the climax of the round, as that wall's getting opening up a sightline for Victoria as well. How is this round going to play out? Two members underneath, two C4s in hand as well, that could change the round on its head.
Well, it's all it's going to take is a little bit of pressure coming out from Talentless, but are they the wiser as to Monster Girl planning this diffuser? I don't think so. These nitro cells were both misplaced, and Talentless is going to have to get the job done with the guns. The kills are going back and forth. We're seeing a sea of blue and orange between the two. Malicious taking a lot of pressure from Victoria, who has that angle from outside, but Cassie is having such a resurgence in this round. Dawn, well, I know that she can go big, but unfortunately, this isn't the round for her to do it. Mirage take round 5, and like we said, this match is going back and forth, just like a seesaw, just like a teeter-totter. And Light Rose, what a way to close out the first night.
Yeah, and we're getting to the point where I am expecting Talentless to win it, but I am just expecting that we're going to go back and forth, and it's just not going to stop until we get to that final crux of a round, that one person eventually is just going to have to win it out. And that is going to show who is able to stick it out in the end. And right now, it's impossible to pick one of these two. Dining room and kitchen is where we are going to end up on this half. We are going to see a little bit of the same thing, except there's going to be an Aruni this time along with everything else, but on the attacking side, and Aruni. I think we should really stop trying to just reason Cavi's operator picks. I just want to watch it unfold at this point.
I think Cavi's just the wild card. she plays whatever she wants, and hopefully it's successful. Otherwise, the other four members of Mirage are just going to, well, they're going to struggle throughout the rest of it. Malicious. Oh, I don't think she took out the drone from Monster Girl. That could play a factor in the later stages of the round when they need that sort of information to drive those drones into sight and whatnot. But I'm gonna call it right here, Light Rose. The first team right now to put 2 rounds in a row together is going to run away with this matchup, because right now it seems like, well, we talked about prize fighters, and like you said, they're going blow for blow right now. Whoever gets on a 2-round win streak first, they're taking this game. I'm calling it. I'm putting my chips down.
Calling your shot at this point. I see. It's gonna be we're gonna have to keep track of that. Because right now, Mirage does have the ball in their court. They had won the previous round. So now, if they're able to string together a victory, they can get the first, I guess, technical 2-round lead of this entire match. We've only seen 1-1-1-1 each part. And now we are going to have that kitchen site. Second floor is going to try to get taken by Mirage. We do see Tabby on over by those red stairs, just making her way on up, trying to clear out this top floor so they can have a very successful vertical play. But the person who stands in the middle of those entire plans is going to be Midlight, possibly the last person you really want to deal with when trying to clear out something.
Yeah, Midlight has just been an absolute demon on the map, as we've been talking about throughout. Well, she struggled a little bit after the rehost, that has to be said, and with Victoria opening up another one of these angles, it's just spelling more and more danger for Midlight, who was lucky to escape as long as she did, but Victoria will eventually get the finish. And yeah, Mirage, oh no, the double kill coming out from Night Owl takes out Cavi and Tabby, and Mirage are in a very uncomfortable position, being down a member, and Cavi hasn't seemed to get anything going since the rehost either. So Talentless, they're showing they're anything but. They've been going huge in terms of these mid-round adjustments right now.
Yeah, C4s have just changed it, really, for this defensive side. Talentless have had a couple of rounds where just Plastic Explosives has changed everything when it comes to these executions, or even changing this anti-roam game in general. As now, with that person taken out with, I believe that was Monster Girl, off the board, you now only have 2 people left in Dawn activating the Gemini clone at literally the worst possible time one could ever activate a Gemini clone. You leave poor Victoria all alone by herself on the second floor against 4 talentless members.
I would just take the free tactical timeout, but it seems like Victoria is going to try and pull off the impossible. With 20 seconds remaining, you have to average, I think it's 1 kill per 5 seconds, and that's just a very tall ask, especially with how much he's stalling right now. And it was a tall task to begin with, and with the smoke grenades coming out, well, it's becoming even more and more impossible. But yeah, Talentless, they just looked oh so effective in that last round, didn't they? Night Owl will eventually get the final kill with a pistol, and Talentless, well, they evened up the score line. No one's able to put 2 rounds together, Light Rose. As we head into the split, I can't call it either way, because Cavi has been bringing all of these different sort of operator picks that just seem to have not worked out so far. Meanwhile, Talentless, I'm very surprised by the way that they've been playing, because Mirage is thought of as one of these strong women rosters, and well, Talentless is picking them apart at the seams right now.
Yeah, I mean, Talentless able to really come out of the shadows and put together 3 defensive rounds. But now I think here's where the test is really going to come. Mirage on that defensive side and Talentless on the attack. It's hard to say who has the advantage at all. Obviously, when it comes to rounds, these teams are even, but somebody has to have the advantage, whether it is mentally, utility, frag-wise. Is there a team that you really can say right now has the advantage when it comes to non-statistical playing right now?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, that's one of the hardest questions that you've ever asked me, to be honest. Like that and the chicken nugget question that you asked me before we got back on cams. But really, no one has had an advantage throughout these rounds. It seems like it's one blow after another. I really can't call this either way here, V.
Yeah, it's doing a great job of making a very enjoyable game of Rainbow Six to watch, to analyze, to really talk over. And now as we see Victoria, which I can only see is just a very, very sneaky electrical placement, but it's not really going to do anything when there's
it didn't get the third panel either, I don't think. It didn't get the third panel either, yeah, and the Thatcher's in play. So, really, that's kind of impactless. You could have thrown that. You could have thrown that electrical pretty much anywhere. Yeah, it looked cool. That's for sure. That was, I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that and use it in my rank games. And if it doesn't get me any wins, I'm going to yell at Victoria.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously everybody knows the cooler you look, the better you play. It's why skins equals wins will always be a true statement no matter what. That's why we should all spend $50 on a single Valorant knife. Anyway, getting mad at the price of Valorant skins aside, we should look at really what Talentless and Mirage really are playing. I like what Mirage are bringing with both the Alibi and the Malusian Library. That's a different type of anchoring, especially in a weak site like that.
Yeah, it's a very unorthodox position to play, that's for sure. But, well, they're going to have to make their impact at some point because they're not going to help. They're not going to help the upstairs at all. It seems like they're just playing down there. Just if they go miss drone, then they're going to go and try and push up red or try and push up brown. But it seems like, well, Pris on the Jackal is going to sniff this out 10 times out of 10. They know the positions of one of these roamers, but question is, do they know that they have two members of Mirage downstairs? Oh, they just caught a glimpse of the head, but Cavi is going to take that opportunity, take that moment of hesitation to really just push her way on out of there. With 50 seconds to go, it doesn't seem like either of these two teams, they're kind of trying to sniff each other. They're trying to sniff each other out, but, well, that favors the side of the defense as time keeps on ticking. And Mirage, we've seen how strong they can be in these late round phases.
Yeah, no lick of damage done to any single person at all in this round. It's going to be Cassie initially who takes a full burst of damage behind that astral wall, and it's going to be the C4s who have made such a presence.
Oh my goodness!
What the heck? Two C4s, SMG-11. I blinked. The round was over. Help.
There's a reason why she wanted me to call her mommy, and I think that's right. That was it right there. That was disgusting coming out from Monster Girl. There really isn't anything left to say. I'm pretty sure that final kill cam caught all five. That was just absolutely disgusting from Monster Girl, who has shown, well, she's shown her prowess on the defensive side, and that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back if you are talentless, right? They have to regain after what was just an amazing play from Monster Girl. And I've seen these type of plays really just tilt people. So it's all about how talentless are going to be able to recover from that, because that could have been play of the day here in the inaugural play day. Nonetheless, here, White Rose.
I think it's going to be hard to beat the initial 1v4 ace earlier. That is obviously a possible play of the entire season going off on the first play day, but that is definitely one to contend because 5 kills happened so quickly. Literally, it was 2 C4s go off not even a second after each other.
Yeah.
And then the 2 SMG-11 kills immediately follow right up. And Mirage just destroyed the confidence of Talentless. You could see the prepping for the attack, getting ready, and then just in the snap of the fingers, gone to dust.
I hope Mirage has the resources necessary to release the comms of what just happened there, because I just want to hear the screams, the let's goes coming from each other. But, well, that was a round to go, and hopefully Talentless, like we said, are going to be able to regain from that, because that is that is just a magical play. And it seems like, well, they seem a little shaken. We're not seeing as much confidence here coming from their take. It seems like they're playing a little bit apprehensively, and I think Mirage are going to take full advantage of it.
Yeah, Mirage have definitely been one to take advantage of the mistakes of their opponent. As we can see by the rounds that they have won, it's not only their individual skill, it's just the quick thinking on their feet that really changes this all for the better. Because right now we are seeing some bullets ring out. Priss going to reveal their position on over to Monster Girl, who's prepped behind with a shotgun. And yeah, that is one door that you definitely do not want to peek with. It's Cavi whose feet are going to get sniffed out by the Jackal, and they're just going to have to evacuate their current position. But there we go. Victoria giving away the information. There's so much info on this defensive side right now. It's insane.
I mean, I love the usage of the pulse, right? You would expect pulse to maybe have more of an impact vertically, but when you put Victoria in a perfect position, well, she's going to feed all of that information to the rest of Mirage, and all the rest of Mirage have to do is just train their guns towards these doors. Talentless are trying to open different ways for them to enter the site, because if they are to try and enter through these doors, well, it's only two real ways that they could enter the site, and Mirage are going to take advantage of that time and time again. Now we see Tabby and Cassie here. They're just ratting around, waiting to take advantage of someone from Talentless. But Dawn, she's using her game sense. She recognizes that there is possibly players upstairs, and I'm sure that she heard the sprinting, but a little bit of hesitation once again coming out from Dawn. She doesn't exactly know where these members of Mirage are sitting, and it seems like Mirage, well, they're setting up the perfect flank, and Dawn is none the wiser. Will Tabby land a kill here? Let's see.
Yeah, it's going to be Victoria finding the initial one, but it's Tabby on the flank, and that's going to get shut down by Dawn. A great usage of that soft destruction. It's Monster who might find one of their own, and there we go. 3v3. 14 seconds left, and there we go. Cavi finding one and a whole flurry of kills.
Oh, goodness.
And it's Mirage finding 2 rounds in a row. And a little theory of Santos is that for whoever would get those 2 rounds in a row would end up winning the entire map. And right now, that is Mirage. Mirage now has a 2-round lead and 1 away from match point. And the way that they have played these last 2 rounds, I think you might be onto something.
I don't think they're going to be stopped. I don't think they're going to be stopped here, V, but Talentless has proven us wrong in the previous half, but they have yet to get anything going on their own attacking side. That it seemed just like Mirage just had their book time and time again. When it comes down to these late rounds, Mirage are just so explosive. They're going to be heading up to Aviator in games. That's going to be their next sort of hill to die on, and well, they haven't done much dying in these rounds so far on their defensive half, because, well, the Talentless are wasting a lot of time, and Mirage know the perfect moment to try and explode and really just blow back at the face of Talentless. Talentless seem to, they get all this map control, they think things are going well, and then it all just explodes in their face. Mirage are like, absolutely not. You are not walking through these doors. You're not getting into these sight lines. We're going to take your heads off.
I don't know if Talentless are going to be able to make it over the finish line. Having a great defense, but swapping the attacks, it just seems that it's not as strong, at least when it comes to this match. And, some teams might be better on that defensive side, but it's the fact that they only won 3, tied it up, and then find themselves now down 2 rounds, the biggest lead this entire match. And that's something that I think that's something you can work on as a team. That's, naturally sometimes you just might be better on the defensive side, but the attacking side, it's an entire different genre. You don't have to take these attacks. You have to be very cautious of flankers, which you might not really have to do as a defender, which is why we might see, certain players do so great on attack or defense, yet when the side swap, just absolutely nothing. Already, Cassie's taking a whole bunch of damage, having to back off just for a little bit, and then over there, it is Cavi all the way down Astro Stairs, flirting with Death of Dawn.
Dawn has been an absolute demon inside of that position, but we're seeing a C4 blow. We're seeing a C4 from below. Unfortunately, it won't land any of the members of Talentless, and it seems like Dawn has won that opening engagement with Cassie while taking a lot of HP hit. But with the Thunderbird up, we alluded to this in the first matchup, and it has to be said again, you head to one of those Kona stations, you get that little needle inside of your ankle, and you go on about your merry day. It sets you up for another gunfight, and well, if Dawn and Cassie were to meet again, I know that Pete Senroni is a little bit weaker in terms of the damage per second, but it has to be said that it is a very, very accurate weapon. And Mirage are kind of huddling around this aggressive roam sort of setup, with Monster Girl being that one girl on the site. So hopefully Talentless are going to be able to sniff out one of these roamers, because they have to get a pick here. Otherwise, this could snowball into another Mirage round win.
And the snowball is really what Talentless needs to avoid, because that is something that Mirage absolutely exploits on. I mentioned just the ability to really work off of the mistakes of their opponents, and now that mid-light is gone, no more EMPs, no more L85 to really work around. So now you just have to kind of deal with the cards that you're given, or deal with the cards that you're... some sort of statement about cards and dealing and given. And that's absolutely what Night Owl has done, taking out Monster and the C4 along with it.
Yep, that C4 could have proven pivotal, and Monster Girl has been going insane in this defensive half, but that doesn't seem to matter, as J Night Owl is going to get taken down by Tabby. And while Dawn is, well, she has control of the site, but the question is, what are they going to be able to do with it? They have to deal with Victoria instead of the gun vault. Cavi, with perfect positioning as well, will take down Malicious, and Dawn is going to fall as well. They know the position of one of the Mirage defenders, but that's exactly the problem. There are 3 more that you're going to have to deal with, and Pris, oh my goodness, I wouldn't want to be in her position, because she was taking fire from, it seemed like, a million different angles, and at the end of the firefight that we had right there, Mirage stand victorious, and they put themselves on match point.
And we have reached the point where it just seems Talentless, they've kind of, I hate to say, they've kind of run out of that magic spirit that it felt like they had in those first 6 rounds, that these tit for tat, 1-for-1 rounds, and now Mirage has just kind of taken the lead, and they do not seem intent on giving it up at all. You just look at the kill feed. Everybody on Mirage seems to be even along with Talentless, but Mirage just have those initial kills, 2 or more kills on average than Talentless, and I think that is just the difference between the two, that Mirage, in the end, while both teams are even, Mirage just has that much more kills to their name, and therefore round wins to their name.
It is so difficult to get things going when you lose a member of your attacking side really early, just because you practice for executes where it's going to be a 5v5. Obviously in scrims, you know, you're going to be met with those situations where you are down a person. I'm sure they're prepared for that. But ideally, when you are planning out your sort of attacks, you have all 5 of your members up, and that's something that Talentless simply have not had throughout any of the Mirage defensive rounds. And to that point, even when they have had all of those members remaining, it seems like Mirage are able to string together 2 or more kills and really swing the momentum in their favor. They're going to have to deal with the roam game coming out here from Mirage. Once again, though, Monster Girl seems like she wants to switch off of that anchor role and play a little bit more aggressive. And, well, what a better way to play aggressively than to go for a little bit of a spawn peek. But it doesn't seem like Talentless are going to walk into it, and they seem ready for it. Oh, the timing, though. Monster Girl could have had a kill right there, but unfortunately, well, she's just going to leave that, well, I'm not going to deal with that any longer. You guys can go have fun with that. Take the map control all you want. I don't really care anymore.
Yeah, map control, I mean, it is something you can kind of give up, but it is important, crucially, to the integrity of a round. Like, you can give it on over to your opponent, but if they don't use it wisely, then you're just like, okay, then that was a definite victory. You have to use it wisely, or else it's just kind of like walking around the map. It's essentially for nothing, and that Ash grenade launch is going to do a little bit of damage to Cavi, not going to be enough, but Cavi, that means that their position has been notified. They know that somebody is on that kitchen, and it's mid-light, trying to deal just any little bit of damage to both either a mute jammer, anything that is just trying to force themselves between the Habana and opening that wall.
Well, we were gassing up Midlight's ability in the earlier rounds, but unfortunately she hasn't gotten anything going. The Habana of Militia is going to be able to open that prone angle. We've seen that time and time again whenever we've been up at this trophy site. Have they sniffed out Monstro? Are they wise to their position? That is the big question for Talentless as well. Cassie wasn't wise to Midlight's position. She's eventually going to get that headshot with that R4C that, it still does a lot of damage. It still has an insane fire rate, and it definitely does a lot of damage. So overall, a good opening pick from Talentless. Some very unfortunate timing. But as I say that, Victoria, again, finding the refrag out. So it seems like Talentless aren't able to build on any momentum really that they're able to get early. It seems like Mirage have had an answer every step of the way.
And now it's Talentless with even up in man count. Not anymore. It's Mirage having that advantage. He gets that caster's curse that we all say. And Tabby has camera information, has sound audio help, and now as Midlight's going to walk right up these stairs, they have to try to find something as we are at a 3v3. If Tabby can change the course of the entire round as 2/3 of the member are walking up these Astro stairs, there's going to be one frag, and it's going to be Tabby doing a little bit of damage over to Midlight, but that smoke grenade is just going to obscure the rest. And hopping over that balcony, it's going to be Tabby finding one. Is the second one in sight? No, smoke cannon is just going to completely obscure their vision. They get to hop over to the bathroom, and instead it's J Knight walking straight into the pistol of Tabby. And as the timer ticks down, it's Talentless sadly losing the final round, and it's Mirage Scouts finding their first win of Project Eris.
In the first half, I thought, this could go either way, but then I called my shot, right? I said whoever's able to string together rounds in the first, or whoever's able to string together rounds first, they're going to run away with this matchup. I always speak facts. V, come on. I'm always speaking facts.
We speak the true truth, but yeah, winning that one out, Mirage Scouts over Talentless Esports, when initially felt like a true battle, only ended up that Mirage Scouts just found their heading, found the advantage that they needed to really win it out. And sadly, that is going to be it. That is the two matches that we had for tonight.
I'm so sad. We have to, unfortunately, we have the just absolutely depressing task of closing out the first day of Project Eris. It is a tough task to do, and unfortunately we have it. But V, my friend, do you have anything to say? Do you have any projections for later on this season? Obviously, we've been through a play day now. Do you have any words to say before we close this out here?
Today was definitely a learning experience, I think, for everybody. We had technical goofs, internet problems, but it's all part of it. I mean, if you know anybody in any competitive scene in any game, that you always know that the first round of either, whether it's a first season or first day, never goes as planned. There's always things that have to really work out. There's always going to be goofs, like I said. So things might have been off for tonight, but I know that they won't be next week. We're going to figure things on out. I believe we're going to be here as well next week. CDC, I am going to make that promise that things are going to be great next week. Project Eris, Playday 2. I'm putting the pressure on you. But I know that the pressure's on us, and we got to perform for you guys. I think despite Santos's internet taking a fat L, you were here to show up for the second match, and I think that's what's important.
I was so happy to come back, man. You just the roller coaster of emotions that I had during that sort of internet outage that I had. Well, it was just I was all over the place. I was just feeling all sort of way. But as soon as I came back, you guys welcomed me with open arms. And well, for the final play day, or the first play day, not final, F words, man. Like for the first play day of Project Eris, this is all about the part of my mission as a caster is just spreading the love all around. And as a result of that, we're actually going to host someone from the community, spread our love here at Project Eris and send it on over their way. But for Light Rose, my name has been Santos. And for all of us here at Project Eris, good night.